loss by the Saints on Monday night moves them down to the 10 seed behind, well, tied with, but technically behind the Vikings and somehow,
I don't know,
the still alive Atlanta Falcons. If Atlanta sneaks in the playoffs, then I have a problem with the playoff system.
Atlanta should be the Bengals or the Lions or the Jags because they're a cat team. They have 9 lives. Like every time you think they're dead, boom, they're back for more. And we keep talking about them every week, and we keep making the same chuckle that Brinson just made. Like, how are they still alive? You don't even believe what you're reading. That's how improbable it is. Yet here we are with the Falcons still alive.
Oh, quick update, by the way.
Oh boy.
It's a good update. Debo says the hats have been shipped.
Oh,
what?
Thank goodness.
The Brinson Sucks hats have been shipped. Smash a like button if you love Debo taking care of biz.
Good job, Debo.
By the way, I sent out about a dozen today, and the guy at FedEx was really disappointed to see me walk up with 12 packages that said, "It's like what's in these?" I was just like, "Oh, Brinson Sucks hats." He's like, "Oh, of course."
He was wearing one, oddly enough.
Yeah.
Was
So
he
the 12? Can I have one? 12 have been sent out.
Nice.
We have 3 regular caps and 10 beanies remaining. So there's still more hat giveaways to come.
I hope you sent Josh Leggett a beanie to the Cayman Islands. Make him wear a freaking knit hat. Enjoy the Dolphins down there, buddy.
All right, I got a quick question about the Falcons. Don't look at the too far on the right side of the screen. I don't know if it's on there or not, but
is it the conference record?
No, I'm gonna give you a number.
Okay.
Minus 85 Falcons point differential. Above, over, under.
Minus 85.
Their point differential.
A hugely low number that I feel like it's clearly.
Is it low?
Well, is over is closer to 0. Under is.
So I'll give you some. I'm
going to say it's closer to negative 100 than it is to 0.
Okay.
No, which one is over? Which one's under? Because technically.
So Panthers is minus 68. That's.
No, I'm saying what is over and what is under.
Under is closer to 0.
Oh, see, I would have gone the other way.
Yes,
I will say over. I will say over.
All right. So Breech, you said over as well?
Yeah.
And point of reference, Carolina Panthers minus 68 this year. Detroit Lions minus 127. Atlanta Falcons minus 122.
Minus 1.
That is unbelievable.
And that is second in the conference behind the aforementioned Falcons. The Lions.
It's behind the Jets, Houston, and Jacksonville as well.
Yeah, and they have some astronomical numbers, those 3 teams.
Minus 179.
Sweet mercy. But anyway, the point is that those 3 teams we just talked about stink. The Falcons somehow have 7 wins, which is, again, mind-boggling.
What's funny is that Ty Schultz over at 538 actually wrote something called, "Are the Falcons the best bad team ever?" And it was looking at any team since the merger in 1970 that had a point differential of negative 100 or higher, 101, 102. I don't know what we saw there. And then there literally have only been 4 other teams since the merger that have pulled this off, winning at least 7 games with that point differential. It is the 2011 Chiefs, 2018 Dolphins, 2006 49ers, 1995 Rams, and the 2021 Falcons.
Read that list again. Sorry, hold on. 95 Rams. I'm just trying to think of these teams. 95 Rams.
95 Rams.
Who else?
The 2006 49ers.
Oh, my gosh. So 2011
Chiefs.
Ha! Oh, that was the Todd Haley, Jamal Charles, Matt Castle team.
Right.
They had remember Matt Castle made the Pro Bowl. They had the easiest schedule on the planet. And then they went to, did they get blasted in the playoffs? Or they almost beat the Ravens in the playoffs. Right? Am I misremembering that?
I don't know. So I'm looking through the Falcons schedule, and it is absolutely hilarious. Of their 7 wins, how many do you would think? How many of those wins, were more than 1 score of the 7 wins?
Well, I'm guessing not many since their point differential so crappy.
Well, I need a number.
It's more than 1. I think it's 3, and they're against really bad teams.
Well, what do you want to say, Breech?
I'll say 2.
The correct answer is 0.
Oh, wow.
They won 1 game by 8 points. The rest were well below that. And you can see their losses here, all blowouts. Like they're losing.
But look at the teams they beat: the Giants, the Jets, the The Dolphins are technically a good win now.
Yeah, watch yourself.
Saints, a worse win now. The Jaguars, the Panthers, and the Lions.
I mean, they have 2 win games, at least 2 3-win games as I'm going through this fast. And then just getting absolutely demolished when they don't win the football game.
Yeah.
When they play a good team, they get thrashed.
That's why I bet on the Bills this weekend.
Should be pretty interesting against Buffalo.
No, it should be not interesting. It's going to be.
It's going to. As someone in the comments mentioned, the point differential will be minus 150 by Sunday evening.
Exactly. They're going to get.
So we all agree the Falcons are out. It seems like.
I think the playoffs are set in the East, in the NFC. Excuse me.
Brinson. Whoa!
Debo's little playoff dance worked out.
I do think the one thing that can.
Please do not say Minnesota.
No. The one thing that can derail the Eagles is it's on the road against Washington, who they stink. Don't get me wrong. But maybe Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen come back angry at somebody else this time, slow down the Eagles run game. And I mean, Washington can beat the Eagles. The Eagles are not that good of a team.
I thought they could beat the Cowboys, and both times they
Cowboys are a top tier team. The Eagles.
We had questions about the Cowboys in recent.
We were wrong.
The Eagles spotted Washington 10 points when they played and still won by double digits.
I'm not saying that the Washington should be favored or will definitely win.
Well, who do you have being the 7th seed at the end of this thing then?
I'm just saying that I don't think the issue for the Eagles, I think, is that Dallas is going to be competing for the 1 seed.
Yeah.
And or the 2, I think the 2 seed matters because Jerry Jones likes home games in the playoffs, and who doesn't?
So Brinson, even if they go 1-1 and go 9-8, that means the Vikings or the Falcons or the Saints would have to go 2-0 just to be in the conversation.
Right. That's what I'm trying to get.
Do you think the Vikings, Falcons, or Saints are going to go 2-0?
I think that's what I'm trying to run, Brinson, is because in my mind, I'd like them to win 2 games, but I'm very realistic in the fact that they could definitely and probably will lose that Week 18 game. So I'm running scenarios where they go 1-1, and then what happens with these other teams? Green Bay has to beat Minnesota on Sunday night, which I think will happen and definitely can happen. New Orleans, despite how bad they looked, we don't know their situation with COVID heading into next week. They can beat the Falcons and Panthers in the final 2 weeks to finish 9-8 and then cause a 3-way tie.
Well, here's the thing. If they lose to the Falcons, it'll be a 1-score game. We know that. So,
and Philly has a win over New Orleans, but a loss to San Francisco.
Well, and New Orleans and Atlanta play each other. So one of those teams is out. The loser of that game's out. So now you're down to Philly.
Well, who does Atlanta
Minnesota,
play?
And one of those 2 teams.
Who does Atlanta play in Week 18 should they win this game next week against the Saints?
The Falcons.
No, they play Buffalo this week. Then
they're out. Okay.
Then they play
All right. The Falcons are out.
Falcons are out.
The Falcons' best case is.
I think the Saints are the only one of those 3 that has a chance to win out, which is crazy to say after what we watched tonight.
Right. So I think Debo, I don't know what Stephen O at Sportsline has, but I would say that the Eagles' chance to make the playoffs feels like around 50% or better. And
I think it's higher. It's got to be higher now.
And that's hugely conservative on my part is what I was going to say, because these other teams,
I think the 49ers are actually the odd one out if it's a 3-way tie between the Saints, Eagles, and 49ers.
That's correct.
So that puts the Eagles
is that based on conference record?
Eagles have a better conference record, 6-4 versus 6-5 for San Fran. Looking at the chart there.
If San Francisco ends up losing to the Rams in Week 18, I think that's a scenario where, conference record would come into play, and Philly and New Orleans would get the edge. Is there a path to the 7th seed only having 8 wins?
Yes, that is correct. If all 3 9-8, it is New Orleans and Philly.
So 8 and 9. I guess. Yeah, I guess Atlanta and New Orleans can't lose out both because they play each other. But that'll get one of those teams.
I don't think Atlanta needs to be in. If they beat, let's hold off on putting Atlanta in the discussion from a math perspective until they beat Buffalo.
I'm holding off on putting them on any discussion.
I mean, if you go beat Buffalo, then all of a sudden everything changes.
Well, yes, if they go undefeated for the rest of the year, they'll win the Super Bowl. But I don't think that's going to happen. They're not beating Buffalo, is my point.
Well, if the Eagles don't win anymore, so they go 8 and 9, then the Buffalo game doesn't matter because the Falcons and Saints, one of them is going 8-9 because one of them has to win that game. So,
but then put, say Washington gets a little frisky, like Brinson said, they beat the Eagles, and they have the Giants in Week 18, and all of a sudden they're 8-9.
Yeah, because if the Eagles go 8-9, then that means Washington won a game. I mean,
right?
They just got to beat the Giants. There's a lot of.
I would love for there to be some high drama, but I feel like Wilson said it at the beginning, and it's that this is probably the NFC playoff field, the current 7.
All right, let me give you this question. Would you rather you can take
Would
either
you rather
spin the bottle? Okay, you can either have Philadelphia making the playoffs, or you can have Miami and Las Vegas making the playoffs. Which team do you want? Miami or Las Vegas making the playoffs in the AFC? It doesn't.
I don't really understand the question.
That's a Benson nightmare right there. Any of those teams,
Raiders, Eagles, and the Dolphins. I mean, hell.
Either Miami, you either get Miami or Vegas in the AFC, or you get Philadelphia. Which one do you feel more comfortable with taking? Like you have 2 teams.
to win the Super Bowl. So if we pick that team,
no, just to make the playoffs. Just to in 3 weeks they'll be the
okay.
Because you
Eagles.
get 2 of Miami, you get 2 teams in the AFC or 1 team,
or you get the Eagles.
I'm taking the Eagles.
Yeah. So do you want Miami and Vegas, or do you want Philadelphia?
I mean, there's probably somebody smarter than me could run the math on that. Like, there's a plus EV move, which is take the 2 teams. But
well, that's what I'm trying to get it pretty even.
It feels like Philly's going to get to 9 wins,
right? I think,
and then have a chance at if Green Bay wins, and this is where it's sort of. So if Green Bay beats the Vikings, they're 13-3. Let's say the Cowboys beat the Cardinals, they're at 12-4. The Eagles beat Washington, they're at 9-7. At that point, Minnesota's done because they lost to the Packers, and it's pretty likely that Dallas is yanking their starters at halftime of the Eagles Cowboys game in Week 18 if Green Bay is capable of having a double-digit lead against the Lions.
And you know how the NFL avoids that? By having them play in different time slots. But the Cowboys at 1 and the Packers at 4.
Entirely possible.
But what about that second round, divisional round, home field advantage? That could still be in play for Dallas, right?
Yeah, I mean, Dallas if Dallas will want the 2 seed for sure.
Right.
So I think Debo's point is that they may not rest people.
Yeah, I don't think we can definitively say at this point who will do. Like, I think Tampa Bay, for instance, will be perfectly content keeping Mike Evans off the field the rest of the year to ensure that he is as healthy as possible going into the playoffs. They don't have Chris Godwin. I don't think they'll play Gronk. They have O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate.
Also,
the thing about getting the second home game though is I think don't the second and third seed, they're both guaranteed a divisional round home game if they win their game, obviously in the wild card round.
No, because the Packers would have a home game, and then the second seed would have a home game.
Well, right, the Packers home game. Oh yeah, because only 2. Duh.
Only 2. Yeah,
right,
4
right,
teams
right.
would be
so
left.
Only the 2 seed is guaranteed 2 home games as long as they win.
So yeah, the second seed does matter, especially.
Quickly, because Breech interrupted me as I was making a point about the Tampa Bay injuries you were talking about. Shaq Barrett has a MCL ACL strain. A strain is a tear, so he's torn his ACL. So I don't know how he's coming back in a few weeks. That's what they keep saying. So that's just something else to look out for. If he comes back with a partially torn ACL, I don't know if he's going to be as effective. So just something else to keep in mind when we're talking about all these injuries on these Buccaneers. What does Mike Evans have? A hamstring?
Yeah.
Or is it COVID?
And now he had a hamstring. I mean, one could argue that this is a very good time to get put on the COVID list if you're Mike Evans and likely missing the game anyway. I just think with Tampa Bay, they are locked into the 4 seed at worst. They're going to see how week 17 plays out and then sort of make a decision. They have the Jets and the Panthers. They're probably going to win both games anyway.
Who's that?
There's no real need to. You
Tampa
don't
Bay.
need to get Leonard Fournette and Mike Evans and Rob Gronkowski 100% of the snaps in those games because if the Rams win out and Dallas wins out, you're in the same spot anyway, even if you win both games. I would just be surprised if they push the limits on the regular season, having just won the Super Bowl coming from a wild card spot.
So they would face.
And McVay, we know, will sit everyone if it doesn't mean anything.
The great news is if Tampa Bay, even if they have the roster the Saints have, they play the Cardinals in the first round in Tampa Bay. So, that feels
Bruce Arians' revenge game.
That's a team you probably want to face if you're Tampa Bay shorthanded or whatever.